Bench Award. New minor league rules for 2019 Johnny Bench Award expanded to honor top high school and college baseball and softball catchers award being relocated to Reds Hall of Fame. The Greater Wichita Area Sports Commission created the award in 2000 and dedicated it to the Hall of Famer and Cincinnati Reds legend. Today the Reds and Johnny Bench, along with the Reds Community Fund, announced that the award will be expanded in 2019 and permanently relocated to the Reds Hall of Fame. The Bench Award will now honor a total of 10 catchers and include the top female college softball catcher along with the top high school baseball and softball catchers from Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana and West Virginia, top male NCAA baseball catcher, top female NCAA softball catcher, top baseball and softball catchers from Ohio high schools, top baseball and softball catchers from Kentucky high schools, top baseball and softball catchers from Indiana high schools, top baseball and softball catchers from West Virginia high schools. It's already a prestigious award and the only way we could make it better was to bring it to Cincinnati and at the same time honor the best softball women catchers in college, said Bench. And now working with the Reds we can also recognize the top high school baseball and softball catchers from across Reds country. The awards committee will help determine the winners with support from local media in each state. The Reds scouting department will also provide input for the baseball categories. All 10 winners will be invited to Cincinnati on June 18 for an awards luncheon at Great American Ballpark, a baseball and softball catching clinic at the P. The 10 winners will also be honored that evening on the field during pre-game ceremonies before the Reds vs. Houston Astros game at 7:10 p.m. Previous winners include National League MVP and World Series champion Buster Posey of the Giants and established big leaguers such as Kelly Shoppach, Ryan Garko and Kurt Suzuki. Minor League Baseball announces pace of play regulations for 2019 AAA and AA pitchers to face a minimum of 3 batters. Mound visits reduced and extra innings rules adjusted. Petersburg, Florida, March 29, 2019. Minor League Baseball today announced rule and procedure changes that will be implemented with the start of the 2019 Minor League Baseball season on April 4. The procedures, created in partnership with Major League Baseball, aim to reduce the amount of downtime taken by mid-inning pitching changes and visits to the pitcher's mound by position players and coaches, and reduce the risk of injuries to pitchers being used as base runners in extra innings games. Pitchers to face minimum of 3 batters at the AAA and AA levels. The starting pitcher or any substitute pitcher is required to pitch to a minimum of 3 consecutive batters, including the batter then at bat, or any substitute batter, until such batters are put out or reach first base, or until the offensive team is put out, unless the starting pitcher or substitute pitcher sustains injury or illness which, in the umpire-in-chief's judgment, incapacitates him from further play as a pitcher. Extra innings runner on second base revision at all levels of minor league baseball. Extra innings will begin with a runner on second base if the last batter of the previous inning was the pitcher. The player to occupy second base to start the following inning will be the player in the batting order before the pitcher's spot in the lineup. By way of example, if the pitcher bats in the 8th position and the number 9 hitter in the batting order is due to lead off the 10th inning, the number 7 player in the batting order, or a pinch runner for such player, shall begin the inning on second base. Any runner or batter removed from the game for a substitute shall be ineligible to return to the game, as is the case in all circumstances under the official baseball rules. Pitchers' mound visits by coaches and position players will be limited based on the classification level. AAA teams will be allowed 5 visits per team, down from 6. AA teams will be allowed 7 visits per team, down from 8. Single-A teams will be allowed 9 visits per team, down from 10, and there will not be a limit on mound visits for short season and rookie-level clubs. For any extra innings played, each club shall be entitled to 1 additional non-pitching change mound visit per inning. Official Baseball Rule 5.10L, which governs mound visits by a manager or coach, remains in effect, i.e., a pitcher must be removed on the second visit by a manager, coach in an inning. Definition of mound visit: a manager or coach trip to the mound to meet with the pitcher shall constitute a visit. A player leaving his position to confer with a pitcher, including a pitcher leaving the mound to confer with another player, shall also constitute a mound visit, regardless of where the visit occurs or the length of the visit. Visits by a manager, coach or player to join a mound visit in progress shall not constitute an independent visit. In addition, the following shall not constitute mound visits: A. Discussions between pitchers and position players that occur between batters in the normal course of play and do not require either the position players or the pitcher to relocate. B. Visits by position players to the mound solely to clean spikes, provided the player does not confer with the pitcher. C. Visits to the mound due to an injury or potential injury of the pitcher. D. Visits by position players to the mound after the announcement of an offensive substitution, but prior to a subsequent pitch or play. E. Visits to the mound by position players that occur during a suspension of play pursuant to an umpire's call of time, e.g., following an injury to an umpire or player, the presence of a spectator, object, or a member of the grounds crew on the field, a manager's initiation of replay review, etc., provided that the mound visit does not otherwise delay a return to game action. F. Visits to the mound by position players after a home run, provided that the player returns to his position before the runner crosses home plate. And D.G. Visits to the mound by position players during an inning break or pitching change, provided that the mound visit does not prevent the pitcher from complying with any applicable inning break or pitching change time limits. Enforcement of mound visit limits: a manager or coach who crosses the foul line on his way to the mound after his team has exhausted its mound visits must make a pitching change, unless during the at-bat of a starting or substitute pitcher's first 3 batters, in which case the substitute shall continue to pitch to a minimum of 3 consecutive batters in accordance with Rule 5.10 G. If a manager or coach believes an exception to the mound visit rule applies, he must confer with the umpire prior to crossing the foul line. In circumstances in which a team is forced to make an unintended pitching change by operation of this rule, and there is no relief pitcher warming up in the bullpen, the manager or coach who violated the rule by exceeding his team's allotted number of mound visits shall be subject to ejection from the game. The umpire may allow the substitute pitcher additional time to prepare to enter the game. If a position player makes a visit after his team has exhausted its allotted number of mound visits, he may be subject to ejection for failing to return to his position when instructed by the umpire. However, an impermissible visit by a position player shall not require the removal of the pitcher. Placing a runner on second base in extra innings accomplished the intended goals and created instant excitement in extra innings, but in a few instances exposed pitchers to serving as base runners, which was a concern of our partners at Major League Baseball. So this amendment to that rule is an easy and practical solution, said Minor League Baseball president. Pitchers facing a minimum of 3 batters at the advanced levels will limit the number of pitching changes and help keep the game moving at a steady pace, while also providing valuable data for Major League Baseball as they review the impact it has on the pace of play.